friends, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations to all of you who have received this award. We need active and more participations of women in the journalism. I'm so proud of Farana, you. Thank you very much. We need more of you. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to all of you. I was here last year to give a speech for the AMU Old Boss Association, and when I came here with President Obama. And the purpose of this trip that I came here, and I talked to the President before I came here, as you all know that I'm here to give a convocation address at Aligarh Muslim University on February 27th, and I'll also be receiving the Doctor of Literature degree as well as the chief guest. My wife Debbie and I embody the American dream. With that thought and spirit in mind, we have committed $2 million to Aligarh Muslim University to build Frank and Debbie Islamic School of Management. I would not be the person that I am today if I have not received the educations of Aligarh. Aligarh shaped my story. Aligarh determined my destiny. Its principles have always guided me throughout my life, whether the time is calm and the crisis. Aligarh Muslim University's students are the best hope. Aligarh always been a beacon of hope, aspirations, and dream. This is my way of saying thank you to the students and all of you, and to all Aligarhians, and keeping their hope alive. I have never been surrounded by so many journalists in my lifetime. The journalists inspire all of us, they connect us, they engage us, they involve us, and they inform us. They transcend all boundaries. So thank you again for inviting me to speak to you today. I want to especially recognize Mumtaz Alam. He was the first man, I believe it was 2 or 4 years ago, came and interviewed me, and it's called Azamgarh to Aligarh to America, my journey. As a matter of fact, it's so popular, according to Mumtaz, that thousands of the hits he received, correct, Mumtaz? And he is still burning the midnight oil. Before I speak, let me say this. If we empower 200 million Muslims with the empowering the educations and economic mobility, they can do they can change the landscape of the world. They can do the wonders. If they succeed, we succeed, all of us succeed, India succeeds, and the world succeeds. So, I want to express my deep appreciation for your warm welcome. I'm humbled and honored to be with you tonight at this important award ceremony. A sense of humility brings us together as a fellow Muslim, Indian, linked by common goals, common cause, common commitment, and bonded by shared history, shared background, and shared belief. The lot that unite us, the little that divide us. Our bonds are stronger than the differences that too often drive us apart. So it is my distinct pleasure to be here addressing on the topic of the role of the Muslim media in creating communal harmony and community development in India. When I was asked to speak by Zubair at this award ceremony, I accepted immediately for 3 primary reasons. The focus that the Muslim Mirror brings on the needs of the Muslim community and other communities here in India is very important and critical for all of us. The role that you, journalists, play in ensuring that the voiceless are given a voice is an absolutely essential one. The fact that we share a common bond as a Muslim who understand the purpose of our religion with an emphasis on peace, justice, and harmony is a central and critical one. There's another reason. I am a Muslim with the last name of Islam. Over the past several years, because of the savage and violent acts by the radical sects and extremists, the word Islam has become intertwined with the terrorism. This is a tragic, because it distorts the religious beliefs and defames its practitioner. It builds gigantic walls between people of different faiths and beliefs. Because of that, there are places in the world where there's a little hope for creating an atmosphere of communal harmony and community development. This is not the case in India. However, because there's a great familiarity across religion and across faith in this country. In the past, many of our greatest leaders have stressed building community through collaborations and cooperations. I will share some of my thoughts in a minute. Before I do so, I must confess that I'm not a media expert. I'm a humble person with the humble roots, born in Azamgarh, who spent many years in India, then moved to the United States of America. Those experiences provide the insights and perspective that I bring to this talk. They shape my observation and opinions on the concepts of communal harmony and community development and the role of the media in creating an atmosphere conducive to such a condition. I would assert that an atmosphere of communal peace and harmony will not be created by accident. It must be a consequences created through a strong belief and concerted and sustained effort over time. It must be an outcome that overcomes the religious, regional, and racial boundaries. As an example of discovering our shared value, let me draw upon the teaching of Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan, the founder of Aligarh Muslim University, where I went to school, and Pandit Malavia, the founder of Banaras Hindu University, where I grew up. These men were visionaries who saw the world not through religious binders, but through an expansive view of what a strong and inclusive faith can do to unite us rather than divide us. While there was not a religious bond between these two gentlemen, but there was undoubtedly a spiritual bond between the two. Indeed, it might be said they were soulmates. They committed themselves in building bridges of understanding and cooperations among various faiths. That is why, even though we are here to speak about communal harmony and community development, I'd like to reframe our discussion just a little bit to talk about creating a spiritual common ground. That is because spirituality, religious, transcends religious, racial, and regional boundaries. The Spirit is the invisible force that brings us together regardless of our particular predispositions. In this regard, I'm reminded by the words of President John F. Kennedy, who in speaking before the Protestant Council of New York City in November of 1963, just weeks before the assassination, said, "The family of man is not limited to a single race or religion, to a single city or country. The family of man is nearly 3 billion strong. Most of the members are not white, and most of them are not Christian." The President Kennedy went on to say, "The members of this family should be at peace with one another." As we gather here tonight to explore the terrain of the communal harmony and the community development in India, as that family, let us think and dedicate ourselves to creating a spiritual common ground. In my opinion, we can create this spiritual common ground through a common communion, a common cause, and a common crusade. I know the words communion, cause, and crusade have religious overtones. I use this word in ecumenical sense rather than a religious one. Therefore, we need to make common communion by speaking together about how to forge a stronger bond among those all persuasions with all the faiths. We need to establish a common cause by developing a plan what can be done to strengthen these bonds that binds us together as one family. We need to join in a common crusade to work here in India to implement that plan and to form a universal family. A common communion, a common cause, and a common crusade are abstract terms. They need to be made concrete and actionable in order to create an atmosphere of communal peace and harmony here in India. They need to be translated into a framework for change. There are many things that should and can be done in order to establish such a framework. Opinions differ, but what should be done at the top of the list? The one that I consider most important as priorities and precondition for creating communal harmony and community development throughout India are building the spiritual common ground that I have said before. But equal opportunity, the elimination of poverty, we know it today, and educational equity for all, regardless of who they are. Let me amplify some of these things. We need to work together to build a spiritual common ground. We should expand cross-cultural education, people-to-people, and interfaith exchanges. Schools at all levels in India can and should play a vital role in diffusing communal tensions and helping our youth understand an evolving environment and the need for collaborations and cooperation. We need to work together to find equal opportunities in jobs and advancement for all citizens in this country, regardless of color, creed, caste, background, or beliefs. Discrimination can shatter people's ambitions, aspirations, and dreams. We should do well to remember that no nation, no country, no race, no civilization has a monopoly on the values of freedom, justice, and human dignity. We need to work together to eliminate the poverty in our country. Several reports that I have seen have deepened my understanding of how entrenched the poverty in the Indian Muslim community has become. Poverty drains institutions. Poverty crushes the hope of the people, especially the Muslim youth. They share a city but not a community. They share a common dwelling but not in a common effort. They confront hostility and open prejudice. But this is not who we are as an Indian. Poverty also fuels a dangerous mix of desperations and frustrations, and as a result can result in an instability that erupts into communal violence, and violence breeds violence. If we come together as a people of faith and one united family, we can together eradicate the poverty from Muslims community. We need to work together to eliminate disparities in education. The disparities in education today in this country are striking. Lack of access to education crushes people's chance for growth and development. I'm not expert in the media, but my time in the United States has given me an exposure and viewpoint that might be useful. So before I outline my thoughts, I want to celebrate India as the largest democracy in the world, and the lessons in democracy that India has taught the United States and the world is by the manner in which the most recent national elections were conducted and the active participation of all of the Indian citizens. The Indian media, in conjunction with other media, shone a bright light on the election process. In so doing, communicated those lessons worldwide. Having exported our lessons in democracy through the Indian media, I think it is appropriate to import some lessons from our media from the United States of America. American democracy does not exist because of the media, but it would not and could not exist without it. It is suffice to say that the free press in India and the United States has been a cornerstone of the democracy since its establishment. In the 21st century, the question becomes, what are the key functions that the news media should play in a representative democracy as India it is? Let me give you an example that has been outlined by Professor Michael Shustin of Columbia. He identified 6 things for the media's responsibility. Information provided fairly and fully. Investigation into concerted source of power. Analysis, furnishing in-depth and the coherent frameworks to help explain complex topics and issues. Social empathy, describing the conditions and the situations of others in society, especially the disadvantaged. Public forum, being a centralized communication vehicle for dialogue and discourse on issues and matters of importance. So I have covered a lot of territory, and there is much work to do. As I have noted, the work requires a common communion, a common cause, and a common crusade. It demands a framework for change. The work must begin, however, by imagining an atmosphere of communal peace and harmony. Imagining will not make it so, but not imagining will make it impossible. You journalists here today can be the leader in sparking that imagining. You must be our Imagineers. Through your words, you can call us to action. Through your words, you can document our success and failures. Through your words, you can keep us keeping on. In closing, let me extend my congratulations to those of you receiving this award here today. You are doing the God's work. You are doing the people's work. You are doing the work that needs to be done to promote community harmony and community development throughout in this great nation. My hat is off and my hands are together for you. Finally, thanks to all of you for listening to talk about this topic, which is so near and dear to me, to my heart, and my last name, Islam, is imprinted on my soul. Wish for you and all of India is peace, love, understanding. Imagine that. Imagining and making it happen here in India will set the example for the world to follow. Who knows what might come next? So, as I conclude my remark, I will say this. If we give opportunity, if we create the opportunity, if we become a bridge builder for the future, if we empower the Indian Muslims through education and economic mobility, they can do the wonders. They can change the world. You're talking about 200 million people. That's a lot of people in this country. But they must be given the opportunity. They must be treated fairly. They are the hope of tomorrow for this nation. And we should treat them because of the fact that we should harness their resources because their best days are ahead of them. They're confident, they're energized, they're entrepreneurs, they're strong, they're vibrant, and they're resilient. Time we spent together, the memories that we have cherished together, the miles we have traveled together, I will always think of you. And God bless you all.